So this is something that we're just going to tack on at the beginning of the video. We're filming this afterwards. We forgot at the beginning of the video when we were filming it the first time that we're going to be doing a giveaway of the pink pieces.
So if you love pink, you can play pink Castles of Burgundy.
And there'll be details on how to enter for that at the end of the video. So keep watching all the way through or fast forward to the end, whichever. And
but you got to do what it says to do or you won't be the winner.
All right, keep watching.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
You need to pop this in your mouth.
I don't cough during videos.
Okay. We're rolling.
We're rolling.
See me roll.
Thumbnail.
I wasn't.
Thumbnail.
Thumbnail.
All right. Hi, welcome to Shelf Control. I'm Norm.
I'm Lisa.
Today we're going to talk about Castles of Burgundy. We have the 20th anniversary edition here, which is not the 20th anniversary of Castles of Burgundy, but the 20th anniversary of Aaliyah, I believe. It's kind of a weird...
What's Aaliyah? Oh, their
the
publisher.
That's kind of a weird...
So it's not a Castles of Burgundy thing, it's an Aaliyah thing?
The 20th anniversary part is, but yeah, this is a new, updated version, not the newest. We'll talk about that later, but... So,
Castles of Burgundy.
Castles of Burgundy.
I never win this game.
You did.
But we played it last night and I won.
I mean, the viewers aren't going to believe you anymore when you say you never win, because every time we do a video, you're like, we just played this and I won. So
it's revisitor's luck.
So Castles of Burgundy, if you know anything about board games, you probably know about this one. This is a top contender for people's favorite games, and especially favorite Stefan Feld games. Castles of Burgundy is well known and well loved. So we thought we'd add our little thoughts about it and heap it on top of the pile. So Castles of Burgundy is a
game. The end.
I don't know if you'd call it a tableau builder, tile laying, maybe. You've got a map with hexes on it, and you're going to be rolling dice and using those dice to collect...
Give me that game.
...hex pieces that then go in specific colored spots on the board. Each tile is a specific color. Your board has spots of that specific color that those tiles can go in. And you score based on the tiles that you put out. That's the game in a nutshell.
As you place certain of these tiles, you can get a bonus based on what that tile is. And then you do have a handy-dandy little guide.
There are building bonuses. So you've got the tan buildings that will do something unique when you put them out on the board. And you've got these yellow, I think they're called monasteries, tiles that will give you either a special ability during the game when you have it, or scoring opportunities at the end of the game if you have it. The only rule for placement is that I'm going to name two now, and I said the only rule, because I already said that they have colored spots on the board where they have to go.
And numbered spots.
The tan buildings, you can't have two of the same building in a group of those tan buildings. So these maps have
little sections.
4 different sections for tan. You can have duplicates of buildings scattered through those 4 different spots, but you can't have 2 of the same in an area unless you have a yellow that breaks that rule for you.
Everybody starts with one castle in the center of their tableau.
And everything else has to be placed off of that. You can't just scatter them everywhere.
Each placement has to touch a previously placed tile. So you can't just randomly put one in the corner. So your light green ones are your pastures. You'll get points for every animal that's on it. If you have like animals in that section, you get all of the points. So let's say I put 3 cows in my first one and I put one right next to it of 4 cows. I'll get 3 points the first time I play it, 7 points with the second one. And same thing if I play the rest of those in that section of cows. So you'll get a lot of points by placing the same animal in that section of pastures.
But you also don't have to put the same animals in a pasture. You can mix them. You won't get as many points that way, but
sometimes
there
you have
is
no choice.
incentive, because if you fill in an area of all the same color, there's special scoring based off of how early in the game you did it and how big of a section you did it. And so
the bigger the section, the earlier in the game you do that, the more points you're going to get.
So you may actually be hurting yourself if you keep waiting for that next set of cows to add, when you could be finishing that spot and scoring the bigger points for doing it earlier.
The gray tiles are your mines.
Mine.
You only have one section of mines that are 3. And at the start of each round, if you have a mine played on your tableau, you get a coin for each mine that you have out.
Mine.
For money, you can use 2 coins to buy something from the black market in the center that you would then put in your key that you later would play out on your board on your turn. Or you also can get workers. There are certain tiles that will, when you place the building, it'll give you workers, or you can turn in one of your die on your turn to get 2 workers, right? 2.
Yes.
And a worker will allow you to add or subtract one number from a die roll. So let's say I need a 2, but I rolled a 1. I can use a worker to make that a 2 and be able to place the building where I want it to go.
And also unique with the workers is if you rolled a 1 and you need a 6, you can actually subtract 1 from your 1 to make it a 6, or you can add 1 to your 6 to make it a 1. It rolls over.
You will also have goods that you can pick up. So anytime you place a ship on your water, you can pick up from these center sections of the board, and those will acquire goods throughout the game. And so once you acquire those, you'll put them on the side of your tableau, and you'll put like goods piled on top of each other. So you can only have 3 goods at a time, but you can have multiple of the same good. And so if you happen to roll that particular die number, so each good has a number on it, if you roll that die, you can use your turn to trade that in to sell those goods, in which case you'll put that particular good face down. So if I have 3 of them in that pile, I will put them face down. I get 1 money for selling goods, but I get points based on how many of that good. So if I had 2 of them, I would get 2 points and only 1 coin. Some buildings...
It'd be 2 points per in a 2-player game.
Yes.
So 2 goods would be 4 points, but still 1 coin. It's always 1 coin.
Yes. And so the more players you have, the more points you can get. And also there's a building you can place that allows you to get 2 coins every time you sell your goods. So that's an incentive to get that particular building out as well.
So one of the neat things of this game that is kind of a restrictive puzzle you have to think about is whenever you take something from the board, it doesn't go immediately into your map. It goes into your little key section here, and you can hold 3 things in your key section. So it will actually take, when you roll your dice, it'll take 1 of your dice to pick something off of the board and put it into your key section. And then you have to use the other die to then put that out on the appropriate spot on your board.
If you're able.
If you're able. So once you fill up your key spot with 3 things, you've got no more room to collect tiles. You're going to have to play these tiles out before you can get more. And so you've got to, there's like a little tug of war there where it's like, I want stuff, but I also need to be able to store it. So I need to get stuff out. And it's an interesting puzzle in itself. Yep. Where it's like, I really want that, I can't get it right now. I have to play this out. Will that still be there when it gets back around to me?
And certain buildings that you place out will allow you to then pick up a building off of the board and put it in your key. And if you don't have
If
an
you have
opening,
space.
you can't do it. Other ones will allow you to play. If you place a building out, it'll allow you to place a particular colored building from your key onto your tableau if you have it. So you kind of want to weigh those out and strategize a little bit to make sure you're utilizing the best methods for your placements.
Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much it. If you can fill in every color on your board, not just a single area, but like all your greens, all your blues, there's tiles for bonus points for whoever does it first, and then there's a smaller tile with a smaller number for whoever does it second. And so there's a race to complete those as well for points.
And each time you place a boat onto your tableau, you get to move your player marker forward on the bridge. And whoever's in the lead on the bridge gets to go first. And if your player ever gets in the same spot as the previous player, whoever is on top of the bridge gets to go first. So you're also kind of in a race to be ahead because you want to go first. When you go first, you actually get to roll your dice. Again, Norm got me pink components for this game because, as you can see, I love pink, and he ordered me some. So if you get to go first, you actually get to roll your 2 die and then also the main dice of the game. So you roll all 3 of them, and whatever the white die rolls on is what you're going to place your good for that particular round on. So, okay, I rolled a 5, so my goods are going to go into section 5. So if, again, you ever place that ship, you get to pick a section of goods to pick up. So if that's the only one out, you would pick it up and place it in your tableau. So that white die is what allows you to place the good, but also allows you to go first.
So every round has 5 turns in it. And so you'll keep playing, keep rolling until all these goods are placed out, and that signals the end of the round. And then you do the end of round stuff, and then new ones come out, and we're now in round 2, and scorings change, and it's labeled here.
So there are 5 turns and 5 rounds in the game.
And also everyone rolls their dice simultaneously. Even though we do our picks in turn order, she's rolling her dice, her 2 plus the white. I'm rolling mine. I'm setting them down here, and then I can be thinking about, okay, what's out there? What can I do while she's taking her turn instead of waiting and rolling the dice on my turn.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very.
Where did these go? Put
I
them
got them
back. You can't steal them.
They're in my key. So I mean that's a very basic rules overview. We didn't go into any of the expansion stuff. There's all kinds of modules that you can add that are included in the 20th anniversary. If you really want to know how to play, there's lots of good how to play videos out there. So I think we can talk about what we like and possibly don't like about this game.
You would think that I would not like the thin tableau, the player board. I don't mind it in this game. So there was a game we reviewed recently,
Ark Nova,
that I did not like the paper player board. I don't mind it with Castles of Burgundy. So everything is pretty basic components. You've got cardboard components throughout the whole game. You've got your wooden, or are these plastic?
Yep, those are wood.
These are wood, little markers to go around the point scale around the board, and then to mark your placement on the bridge. But everything else is just cardboard pieces. And for this game, it works. It works really, really well.
Yeah, I don't know. Speaking of other versions, they did a Kickstarter for a super deluxified version of this game where you have acrylic tiles and you even have like little minis of the different buildings and stuff that you can play with if you wanted to. And I didn't feel the need for that because this works great. acrylic tiles might have been kind of cool. It came with a dual layered board to plug things in, but I don't know that this game needs deluxification. I mean, this game for what it is works really well.
It's one of those timeless games, I think.
And it's because there's so many things that if you watch my my video of 10 annoyances in board games, this seems to avoid all of those. And it does it so well. If you saw my annoyances in board games video, you know I don't like games where there's no in-game mechanism to track the rounds. You know, it's like, oh, you play 5 rounds, you just have to remember in your head, this is round 4, there's one more round. And a lot of times in those games, you just totally forget. I know, like in Terraforming Mars, you've got like a little marker for each generation, and
we never use
that never gets moved because there's nothing in the game that screams, "Hey, move this." And I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
Right. We know when the game is triggered. The end
game isn't a set number of turns, but it helps if it's like, okay, we're passing for draft this way in odd rounds and this way in even rounds. It makes sense to track that. But we have a token that we just flip over that has arrows drawn on it.
And so that's a house rule anyway.
It's not that big of a deal there anyways. But there are other games where I think one of the other Stefan Felds, the Bruges, if you watch that video, it's not Bruges though, it's Hamburg. It's Hamburg, the Bruges game. If you watch that, there's like a little clock tower with a token that you like flip over every round, so you know when 4 are done. But there's no reason in the game mechanisms to remind you to do that, and so we're just playing our turns, and then it's like, oh wait, what turn are we in? Are we in round what? I don't know. This game has these goods tokens that a pile of 5 gets stacked up here every turn. And at the beginning of a round, you take the stack of 5 and you put them out on the board like this. And with the white die, it puts one of them out somewhere. And then once all 5 of these are done, you know that round is over. These all clear out.
No,
They're all out on the board. So this spot's empty. You take the next pile of 5 and you put them down. And those track the number of turns in the round. And that also, not only does this remind you how to track for turns, but it's also noted on the board. Any section that you complete is worth a bonus 10 points, plus however many points for how many tiles there are. And it drops down from there to where in the last round, you only get 2 bonus points for filling up a spot. So you've got this incentive to do it early, and it's all marked out clearly on the board. You don't have to remember, we're in round 2 now, so it's 8, and it's like, are we in round 3 yet? It's all part of the game mechanisms that the only way that you would forget to progress forward is if somebody didn't roll this die and put something out. And so you would have to be not playing the game right in order to lose track of turns and rounds. And I love that in games where it's not even an effort on your part to know where you are in the game. The turn track, who goes first, moving up the bridge, makes sense. There's a tile that gives that for you. And going first can be pretty important when there's that tile up there that you want.
Right. And someone always wants to take it.
So you can fight for that, and it's clear. You take the boats if you want to move up on the track. There's limited spots on the board for different colors that come out. So there's a good mix of tiles. And there's also the black market in the middle, which are special tiles with black on the back that are a mix of all these other tiles. There'll be pastures, there'll be boats, buildings, monasteries, they're all in there. And once a turn, you can spend 2 coins to get one of those if you want. And that's a good way to get some extra tiles because it's the second tile that you can pick up on your turn. It's also a way to get, if someone takes both of these boats in a 2-player game off. Now here's a boat available there, so if I can get my hands on 2 money, I can still pick up a boat.
And you gotta, like Norm said, there's limited tiles out here of specific colors. So there's only 1 mine that comes out every round. And so if someone grabs that up and there's not one showing up in the black market, you're not getting one this round. You're having to wait for the next round. And hopefully you can go first, or you draw the right number first that you can pick up that mine. So that mine is on a 5. So you either need to roll a 6, a 5, or a 4, and hopefully you have a worker. So you can use that to get that mine. Otherwise, you're not getting it that round either. So it's a race to get the tiles that you need. Everyone's going to want mines because that's the way to get money. They're all going to want specific colors, especially if it closes up that particular grouping to get those bonus points. So once those are out, those colors are out, you have to wait for the next round for it to refresh the board. So that can be frustrating if your opponent takes that before you get a chance to.
This side of the board is for 2 or 3 players. So there's spots on the board that show a 3, and so those spots will get filled up when there's 3 players. And then the other side of the board is
I didn't know it was a full-sided board.
Is 4 players.
I didn't
And
know
so
that.
it has even more spots for things to come out.
Cool.
We haven't played it at 4.
I don't think we've played it at 3. Have we?
So yeah, we've played it at 3 a few times. I'm trying to remember if I've ever played it at 4, because I've taken it some places to play. I can't remember if we had 3 other people playing there then or not. But also these boards, your player boards are double-sided. That will have a different layout for things. And so we generally will pick the board that there are multiple copies of, so everyone's playing off the same board, so it's all kind of equal. But if you get tired of that, you can mix it up.
And we have done that before.
And we have. So, but
just gives it a different dynamic.
You know, it's something, you know, when you get tired of playing this board over and over, because, you know, like looking at this board, right off of your starting spot is a 1-space area that can be completed on the first turn by putting 1 thing down, and you get the 10 bonus points on the first turn. So even though you only get 1 point for a 1 hex size area, if I fill that on the first turn, I've completed that area. I get 1 point because it's a 1-sized enclosure, but I get 10 points because it was on the first turn. So that's 11 points for that 1 tile, which is pretty huge. And then there's another one out here that's 3 away from the starting place. So if you can build out there and fill in that space in the first round, then that's a pretty big jump of points. And
that's what I did last night to get an early break ahead of points. He did catch up to me, not enough by the end of the game to beat me, but I filled in some small sections early on to get a big jump in points to try to get that head start.
So if you feel like this board has become too formulaic, where it's like, okay, I'm always going to try and do that and that as soon as possible, and then go from there, then you can always try this one over here, where you know, there's like 1 spot here. Each of the dark greens are scattered out.
What I find interesting is it's the same dice. You need the same numbers, but we have different formats.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got a different type of map on the back than I do. But it does require the same dice, which is interesting.
Yeah, so, you know, there's lots of replayability if you get tired of a particular map and want to try a new one. Though I don't know what the balance is. Like some maps, like this one's got so many one spots that can get filled. That this might be a strong map if you can do it, but you have to be able to branch out to all these places because you can't just drop them all crazy. But it'd be interesting to see. This one has all the river spaces all in one instead of broken up.
And your green are all broken out. So, yep, interesting.
So yeah, we've tried these maps before, but not enough to really talk about them because we still like to do the ones where we're playing off the same map. So it's the same puzzle for everyone.
So shall we rate it?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So 0 to 7 for mechanics is how we start our reviews.
I will give it a 6. It's not getting a 7 because I'm not a huge fan. Like I said, the cardboard components don't really bother me. But as far as the worker, I would like real money, and I would like a little bit better of a token for the worker. That's the only downside I have. I don't even mind the thin board.
Yeah, the only problem I have with the workers is that you have this little tiny circle spot on your board to stack your workers, and these square workers.
It's a square peg in a round hole.
One on its own fills up this circle, so you kind of you either stack them or you have them spilled out in a pile.
If you have that many workers. I never have that many. I use the normal stack hits up.
But I'm going to give it a 7 out of 7. There's nothing that I feel detracts from the game, even the workers or the money. I have seen people will bling it out and they'll actually get like little silvery rocks instead of the coins.
Mm-hmm.
Because thematically you're getting the silver from the mines.
Okay.
So you're not mining a coin out of a mine.
That's neat.
That's neat. That might be something to look into, but
the game as is just fine. It works great for us. We don't need to deck it out.
Everything is just so tightly designed. It's really well done.
Agreed.
We've got a few other Stefan Feld games. I just picked up Carpe Diem. If you saw my video about game publishers who have done me right, you'll see that I got a new copy of Carpe Diem because I bought the old copy and it was missing some pieces. And when I requested, how can I replace these missing pieces, they sent me a whole new version of the game. And so we're yet to try that, but looking over it, it gives some Castles of Burgundy vibes. And so I was like, I wonder if this game might be better than Castles of Burgundy. And then we played Castles of Burgundy again, and it's like, that game's going to have to be really good to surpass this.
This is not quite my favorite Stefan Feld game. It might be my second favorite.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
We've got a few more
we've
reviews.
reviewed a couple. We still have more to do. So our favorite could be still on the shelf unplayed so far. So we'll be getting to those. But yeah, everything, the way that the tiles work, the puzzle of getting tiles with the powers that you want versus the tiles you need to fill up the areas to get these bonus points early. It's such a fun puzzle every time you play it. So it's getting a 7 out of 7 for that.
6 out of 7 for me. And playability.
Well, how excited you are. The X factor.
It's a 2 for me.
2?
Yep. I will play it anytime it's suggested. And sometimes I just forget that it's on the shelf. We have so many games and it depends on the phase we're in at the moment. So if it's suggested, I'll always say sure. And I'll play along. But I sometimes may not even remember that we have it to suggest playing it.
This is a tough one for me because my gut wants to give it a 3. Like in my head, this is a 10 out of 10 game. But it's also, in my head, I always envision 3s as being, why aren't we playing this right now? And I don't know that this is a why aren't we playing it right now game. But it is a game of why don't we play this more?
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't we introducing new people to this more often? Instead of there's other games that be like, oh, you need to try this. It's like, why are we not being like, hey, you need to try this? So this is like so many 10 games from me in this video series so far. I think this might be number 4, but I think this deserves it. We need to start reviewing some more stinkers. So yeah, I'm going to give it the 3 out of 3 for a grand total of 10. This is a 10 out of 10 game.
Wow, and I gave it an 8. And it's up there in one of the games I like the most.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm a tough sell, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, this game is designed perfection, and it's fun. If that's not a 10 in my book, I don't know what it is. So, you might think I'm being too lenient on games, but other people rate this pretty highly too. So,
okay.
Do we keep it?
Oh, we're keeping it.
Okay, we're keeping it.
We're keeping it. I mean, we don't need to bling it out. I like it just the way it is. I don't know if I would like it more with all of that decked out stuff.
I don't know that it makes a difference because it's not a super long playing game. So you can play this twice in a game evening.
Oh yeah. I enjoy it just as it is. So for sure, it's unless a game comes around to knock it out, it's staying on the shelf.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and what's crazy is even though it's a 10 out of 10 game for me, the Kickstarter $100+ version it didn't even tempt me because we got this version. It's funny, every now and then at the used book store that I'll go to, they'll have the first printing of Castles of Burgundy for like $30, and that's more tempting than the blinged out version because it's the first printing of this game. But
no, we're good.
This includes all of that. The art was upgraded. A lot of people complain about this art. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with this art. But I haven't seen the original printing of it to know the difference. So.
It did break my heart when going to the used bookstore. I would always see that first edition on the shelf and always be tempted, but leave it there. And then one day I was like walking in, and there were a bunch of cardboard pieces scattered on the ground, puzzle pieces. Somebody might have dropped stuff while they were like loading it into their car, and all the stuff might have gone under their car. But there's a bunch of puzzle pieces from just picture puzzles that you put together, and there were also the hexes and the goods tiles from the first printing of Castles of Burgundy. And it was like they didn't even like pick everything up, which I mean they might have not been able to get under the car to pick up all the pieces. And it's like, so now there's a ruined copy of the first edition of Castles of Burgundy, and it's like
the tragedies.
I should have saved it. But
okay, well, as we talked about at the start of the video, we are having a giveaway. So we are, Norm, again, got me some pink components for this particular game. And of course, it's cheaper when you buy it in bulk. So he has some more dies and some more markers that we want to give away to one of you. So it's enough for one person to have a pink set for their Castles of Burgundy game. So if you like this video and subscribe it and like this video, subscribe to our channel and leave a comment on this video, we will do a random drawing. We don't get a lot of comments. If you've been following us, you know we don't get a lot of comments on our videos. So you may be walking away with this.
If you're the one person who makes a comment, it's gonna be a ridiculous random drawing.
It's gonna be you. So, and then we would just message you privately to get your information and send this to you. We won't ask for any money, no shipping. Anything affiliated with us would not ask you for money on that. So
if you get a notification that's not from our channel or not from our email, shelfcontrolgames@gmail.com, it's not us. If they ask you for money for shipping or anything like that, it's not us. We're not going to ask for any money from you guys for this. So,
and this is also part of October, which we're in, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So pink everything, so as far as I'm concerned.
Doing the pink.
So we want to share our pink with you. So subscribe and leave a comment on this video, and you might be the lucky winner to get your own player set for Castles of Burgundy.
And we will announce the winner in an upcoming video. So you can be on the lookout for that.
So that's it for us today.
So
Castles of
that's it.
Burgundy. We'll see you next time.
Great. Now we can take these Halloween costumes off. No, it's not.
No, honey, that's just
It's
how you
not-
look. This is just you.
Oh.
Bye. Okay, don't stop it yet because now we're going to have to do the intro again to talk about this. And you'll just have to edit it.